Hello again. I decided to create a new video regarding my Borderlands 3 cheat table because there's been quite a few things having been updated, and I decided to explain a bit about it. Without any further ado, I'm going to launch the game, and similarly to what I've done last time, I'm going to make it so that the Steam ID and the Shift ID aren't shown, and then I'm going to run the new table, which is going to be this one. When posted on Fearless Revolution forums, is not going to be called Borderlands 3 Simpler, just Borderlands 3, like this. That's what you'll see when you go to the forums and download it. And let's wait a bit for Claptrap to finish his sidewalk dancing and waving and whatever. One of the first observations that I have regarding the table is to try not to use developer perks commands at main menu because you'll crash the game. One of the changes that you'll see happening with this new table is the fact that you'll have to itself to open it up, and Cheat Engine will automatically attach the game process, so you don't have to do the selection anymore. The second thing that you need to know about it is you have to do it once you're in a playable map. So without any further ado, I'm just going to click play, continue, go in game, and then I'm going to explain what's going on from there. Alright, so the first thing that you usually do when you want to use the console, the dumper, is you go outside and you actually inject the DLL, which will create the console for you, and also here you can see it's just been created. We'll dump to text files the names and the objects of the current state of the Unreal Engine objects inventory, the current map. Now, like I said, you will want then to double click this table, but first let me explain a bit about some of the things that are new, in the sense that when you go in game and you press tilde key, you'll see the console just like this. If you press tab, then you'll also see the console down below here, which is annoying. Of course, you can modify this behavior by, if I remember correctly, using Unreal Pack, packing your ini file with the edits as a patch, and then creating a pack file that is going to be put into a certain folder in your game folder, and then when the game loads and it finishes loading the base files, it will overwrite the ini by loading the patch file, so to speak, the one that you created with the modified ini, and that will override actually the current console key. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is with my table, and you'll see how. So pressing tab, right now it's annoying. You can't, if you press Control tab, then it will open up this window here, and so on and so forth. So, or Shift tab, I think, works as well. Yeah, because that if you do Shift tab, your player will not crouch anymore. But if you do Simple tab, this is what happens. So back to the table. Like I said, this is going to be called Borderlands3.ct. So double click on it, and the thing that you'll see is you'll be asked to execute a Lua script. Click yes. The interface of Cheat Engine shows up, but you will not be able to use it yet. You can see in the background that the game is lagging a bit, and that is because there's some scanning being done in the background. It will take approximately 20 to 25 seconds to regain access to the interface. You already see that the process has been attached to, so you don't have to open it anymore. So just double click the table to run it. Of course, you can also do it manually, like open up Cheat Engine, select the process, then open the table, and then you'll see that pop up asking you to to execute the Lua script. You can do it that way as well if you if you prefer that way instead. Now, the first thing that you'll see here when you regain access to the Cheat Engine graphical user interface is a pop-up, and it asks you if you want to remove tab from console keys. So you would go with yes. The second pop-up is going to be about the console key. Now, I've been asked about this a lot. How can I change my console key? So this is the other method that I mentioned. Um, aside from the pack method, you can use this method here, whereas change current console key when pressing yes will display this window, and in here you can specify as a string your key. A list of keys is going to be provided on Fearless Revolution forums, and these are the keys. So pick one of these to set as your console key. Note that they're not named in the way that you would expect them to be named, so please pay attention at the words here. You can just type any string there because these are going to be looked up in the names dump internally by Unreal Engine, and if the string is not found, if the identifier is not found for that particular string, you can see tilde here, slash, period, hyphen, underscore, whatever. Even some non-QWERTY keyboards keys are specified here as well. So you just have to copy and paste them in the field here. I'm going to use backspace, click OK, and now I have access to the actual interface. Alright, the table design has been revamped a bit. Wanted to bring it to a more friendlier look. And now that you're in-game, you can use several commands more as opposed to the ones that I mentioned in the previous video. One of them is you now have access to an individual spawn items command, which allows you to spawn just one particular item, or if you want, it allows you to spawn a certain number of items from certain pools, so to speak. So this is basically an alternate to the spawn awesome items method, and I'm going to detail a bit about it in a sec. So let's click enable, and then here in spawn awesome items you'll see a list of item pools that you can change. If you remember, we talked about it in the previous video. Just going to open up the dump, and I'm going to copy this one and find it here normally, and you'll see that this refers to item pool artifacts legendary. Remember, I explained how I got to the name from the address, and this is the name that you see here. Now, if you want to use spawn items, not spawn awesome items, which is a different command, that will be possible, and you can do something like this. So if, for example, we want to spawn, I'm going to copy this. Alright, so now we found all of the pools that are currently available to us in the current level. Now, if I want to spawn, for example, a shotgun, one shotgun, not as many as spawn awesome items would for us, and then a pistol, what I would do is this. I will copy the pool's name. I would go in here. Well, oh yeah, backspace. I forgot that I changed the. I was wondering why tilde doesn't work because I changed the console key to backspace. So I will open up this one, type in spawn items, then open a curl, paste the pool, close the curl, and then C1. So this is the format. Well, all of the commands formats are going to be posted on Fearless Revolution forums. Just know that these are internal commands. That's how they were designed by the game developers. It's not my design, so these are not custom commands that I created. These exist in the actual game. I just figured out how the parameters should be written and how they actually work. So right now what you're going to see is the spawn of one legendary shotgun. Which shotgun? That's randomized. Command Not recognized. What? Alright. Oh yeah, so since now I have the console key set to backspace, I can't do backspace anymore in the console, which is funny. Alright. So let's redo this real quick. Okay. Borderlands 3. My cheat tables. Borderlands 3, the normal one. Open the game process. Kill Steam ID, kill Shift, and then close this one, and then I'll wait for the game to start. I'm going to leave the console key set to its default value, which is tilde, just to avoid any other problems. And now I'm curious why spawn items command doesn't work. Because you're not supposed to be doing anything else but just open up the table. And the Lua script takes care of everything else. Alright, play, continue. Alright, so we're back in game. Then Borderlands 3, injector, and we have ignition. Alright, and then the table. Okay. Yes, I want tab removed from the console keys. Change current console key, no. Okay, so tilde works. Tab does this. So we're good. Now, spawn items. Okay, so now it works. I don't know why I didn't previously. So if it doesn't work, just reopen the game and try again. I don't know what to say. I have no actual clue why it didn't work the first time around. What's supposed to be happening with the Lua script is some of the commands that I manually picked, they are set to executable, and apparently that failed in the previous attempt. Again, I don't know why it happened. So click enable. You don't actually need to do this for what I'm about to show you, but just want to emphasize the fact that you can use spawn items over spawn awesome items method that I displayed in the previous video. So back to the text document, open this up one more time, Control F, look for all of the pools, and then like I said, we want a shotgun. So copy this, go back in here, spawn items, open the curl, paste it, close the curl, one, and then you'll see this. So just one shotgun has been spawned. Like I said, which shotgun is also, it's something that happens randomly. You cannot control that with a command. But for example, if you want now 3 shotguns, you can do it like this, 3. Press enter, and you have spawned 1, 2, 3 items. Now let's say that you want to spawn 1 shotgun and 1 pistol. Then how you do it is like this. So first, sorry, let me So first you want to keep in the shotgun in there, and you put a comma, and then you paste the other pool that you want to spawn an item from. Then you close this, and then you type 1. I think if you type 1 and 3, then you'll have 1 from shotguns and 3 from pistols. But I'm not sure exactly. I'll try it in a sec. So now if you press enter, you have spawned 2 items, 1 pistol and 1 shotgun. Let's also try doubling this. So 1 and 2. I want to see if I spawn 1 shotgun and 2 pistols. And actually no, it's 1 pistol, companion. Yeah, so it doesn't work like that. It's always gonna be how many items is how many items as a constant from which pool. So it's going to be number of items 1 to many pools. Now if you want to spawn from another pool, like from here, item pool big boom blaster, just paste it in, close this, press 1, and then you'll have 3 items. Of course I collected that, so 1, 2, and then the other one that I just, let me do it again. So there. Oh, come on, man. I have to run away from it. So you have 1 shotgun, that one, and a pistol. You can see them here. Shotgun, that one, pistol. Okay. Another observation that I had on my piece of paper here is if you are early in the game and you don't have access to the Iridian Fabricator and you spawn it and you pick it up like I did here, you cannot drop it. So pressing X, you can see that for a normal gun you have the X to drop it. Keeping X pressed will drop it from your inventory, but for the Iridian Fabricator you don't. So that being said, if you're playing the game for the first time and you're using this table and somehow you've managed to spawn the Iridian Fabricator and wanted to use it to, use the other method of spawning items with the Iridian Fabricator early in the game, then I don't know if in the story progression, when you get access to the Iridian Fabricator, you'll hit a dead end, as in if you break the game by already having the Iridian Fabricator. I'm not sure if, I think at some point the Typhon de Leon, I think, it's the guy who gives you the Iridian Fabricator, and if I remember correctly, he basically hands it over, as in he extends his hand and you're supposed to be picking it up from his hand, like pressing E on the item. Now, if you already have it in your inventory, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up from his hand, so it's possible that you'll get stuck there with the story progression. Yeah, so that's about it regarding the Iridium Fabricator. There's a new command called unlock customizations. Unlock customizations. That's how you run it. And once you press enter, it will basically unlock every customizations at the quick change machine, which is this one. And you enter in here, go to head. You'll see down below here you have 33 out of 33. For skins you have 48 out of 48. Emotes 14 out of 14. Echo theme 47 out of 47. And I don't want to do respec. But anyway, you get the idea. You have everything unlocked for you. I think you also have access to everything that Earl has to sell in his shop. All of them become available to you. I'm not sure if all of them can be purchased the first time you encounter him, but I saw that I was able to scroll through the entire list and purchase everything in there. Alright, let's see what else. There's now a new command called unlock vehicle parts that's available to you. unlock vehicle parts. And once you press that, press enter on that and you execute it, it will unlock all of the vehicle parts based on your story progression or the map that you're in. So don't expect to find in there all of the vehicle parts available in the game. What you'll see in that list is based on your current progression, and I think based on the map that you're in. As in, you'll only see parts related to vehicles that you can spawn in that particular level. If I remember correctly, you can spawn like everything in there from the beginning. I might be wrong. Unlock weapon skins, which you know what this does. It basically unlocks every skin available for your weapon. Let's see if I remember exactly how to do this. F inspect, change weapon skin. So here you'll have everything enabled for you. Alright. Unlock weapon trinkets. It's doing the same thing, but apply to trinkets. Weapon trinkets. So now when you go to tab, when you go here, click here, this field here, and then take a look at this list, you have 50 available to you. So you can select whichever applied there, and then you're going to see it hanging from your weapon. Which one was this? Number 1. There you go. You can see the trinket dangling there. Okay. Grant levels. So in the previous video I mentioned a command that was give levels, I think, and it gave you 5 levels every time you ran it. But let's say maybe you don't want 5 levels, you just want 1 level. So what you do is type it like this: grant levels, and then you specify how many levels you want. 1, it gives you 1 level. There you go. You leveled up from 17. I leveled up from 17 to 18. So that's how this works. Give currency is another command that you can use. Give currency, like this. When you press enter, you'll see that you need to specify some parameters for it. One of the parameters is the amount that you want, and the other parameter is what type of currency. So for example, if I press 1, if I say X, for example, inventory category money, then I'm missing the amount command. I'm missing the amount parameter. If I say 1, you can see that I've just given myself $1. If I say 100,000, let me just open like this. There you go. Of course, a list of what you can type in here will be provided on Fearless Revolution forums. And these inventory category underscore string are money, iridium, golden key, vault coins, diamond key. I don't know what that is, but I guess we'll learn about it in the future. And then Moxie Drink. So if you do it like this, Moxie Drink 1. I don't know exactly what it does. Maybe it's something related to some DLC, but I didn't see any effect of it in the actual inventory. Perhaps I need to unlock more, but I just restarted the main story because, well, I didn't transfer my character from, if that is even possible, from the previous gameplay on Epic Game Store to Steam. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Another thing that I added to the table, well, I've revamped it a bit. You'll see the debug section. So click on compact mode, and then let's close this. So with spawn items, you don't actually need to spawn awesome items method anymore. considering now you can spawn a given amount of items from one or multiple pools of your choice. But the debug section now looks like this. So if you want to tackle some modifiers, you'll have to expand these areas first, then get to, for example, if you want to get to the weapon, which is this one, current weapon, expand it like this, and then fiddle with weapon recoil, fiddle with sway, fiddle with details regarding your weapon, like fire rate, automatic burst, shot ammo cost. If you set this to 0, you'll basically have unlimited ammo. Spread. Oh, this is inaccurate. Interesting. Impulse, so on and so forth. So for this weapon, why isn't spread accurate? It should be 2F0. 4 bytes. Yeah, I think I forgot to adjust that one to 4 bytes. Alright. So this is how you'll see the tree spreading out here. Another thing that I added up, this is basically just a mock-up copy-paste that I used to define those in there. Another thing that I added is this zone map globals data. What this allows you to do is modify player and vehicle unfog radiuses, in the sense that if you notice up top here to the right you have a minimap. When you go to a level that you've not been in, and let's say you want to unfog it very fast, you can change those radius values here. How this works is you basically modify them to, let's say, 6,000 both, and in order for them to get applied to the actual map that you're in, you need to either mount a vehicle and get out of it, or you can also go in here, player controller, then you see fog of discovery component, and you can change the value to 3000. The reason I put this as an OR here is every time you let's say enter a vehicle and get out of the vehicle, this value here is going to be either this or this. So when you play as a player, this information here, this 3000, gets copied in here and it's applied on the fly to the actual fog of discovery component. When you enter a vehicle, then the vehicle's unfog radius value, which is 4000, is updated here in this field. And this 3000 becomes 4000. And that is because now you're in a vehicle. So the unfog radius increases from 3000 to 4000. Now, if you want both as a constant, just change these two to like 6000, 8000, or whatever, and enter a vehicle and get out of a vehicle. So then you'll see 8000 here, or 6000, whatever the value it is. You can also change this manually, but just keep in mind that the moment that you enter a vehicle and exit a vehicle, these defaults are going to be applied instead. So you're doing 8000 here now, then going into a vehicle will change this 4000 to 4000. That's how the engine works. So modify the defaults, and also modify this one. Now every time, so the current level will have 8000 applied, and then every time you walk into a vehicle and get out of it, you'll also have 8000. So you can modify all three of them in one go if you want. Otherwise, if you just want this to be applied only when you enter and exit a vehicle, then modify just the default ones. Alright. And what that refers to is your minimap is going to unfog way faster than normal. Okay, let me remember if I did something else here instead. No, I think that's about it. So this is pretty much the current state of the table. It's built for the current patch. It might work with future updates. It should work with future updates because I have some methods in there that make sure it will. As you could have seen in the beginning of the video, there was a failed attempt, in the sense that not everything worked as it was supposed to, probably due to timing. The fact that I'm recording this and that adds a bit of a lag to cheat engine processing in the background. Or maybe, I don't know, something in there failed, but normally everything that would fail in the Lua script should throw an error. I made sure of that. And I didn't get any error, so I will have to investigate on that. But as you could have seen, just restarting the game and redoing the steps will make sure that it works. That's about it from me. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.